suction card in front or beside your seat carefully. Thank you for your attention. We wish you an enjoyable flight with Garuda Indonesia.
Where to begin? Oh, goodness. Let me give you a 60-second intro on how we ended up here in Bali. So, this was our first time traveling to Asia. My husband, my son, and I are temporarily living in Tokyo, Japan. So, we decided to go to Bali for my birthday. At this time, it is January 2020. This is right in the middle. I'm talking like the week that COVID happened, Corona, all of that stuff, 2020. You guys, does anyone recall it? I know we've all tried to put that in the past. We all have crazy memories of that crazy time of life, but this is where it happened for us. January 2020, we were in Bali for my birthday. For starters, we came here to Bali with no prior research, which is such a bad idea. We just saw the pictures on Instagram and Google and Pinterest and all of these just online, and we didn't have any prior knowledge of the culture, of the religious practices, of just anything. So that's always, I never recommend that. So this is going to be an interesting video because what you are going to see on your screen right now are all of the beautiful things and great things about Bali, kind of what you would see, I'm sure, if you did a quick Google search or Instagram search about Bali. But my voice, what you're going to be hearing me talk about, are all of the bad things that we encountered while we were there. So, with no further delay, let me go ahead and get you started. Right now, what you're viewing, what you're seeing, is the villa that we stayed at. Absolutely gorgeous, right? I mean, look at this. It was a great price. We have the whole villa to ourselves. Every time we travel, we always like to do things away from touristy places. So we were all the way up in the mountains away from everybody. I mean, there was other places, other people near us, but those were all local people. So we were absolutely ecstatic. I mean, we had the whole place to ourselves. We don't have to worry about noisy neighbors or anyone bothering us. The place included a chef that would cook 3 meals or more if we wanted. I mean, the place is very spacious, as you can see. And the food on the menu that they provided online looked absolutely delicious. And we take a moment to just appreciate how amazing this food was. This chef went beyond like anything that we expected. When we said we wanted a taste of the local food, she just went, this was amazing. And coming from Japan, fruit is so expensive and it's not, it's pretty hard to find and you're going to get very small portions of it. And this lady went all out. It was so fresh, they were cutting it down from the tree right in the yard. This day, it was my birthday and I was asking where I could get a coconut, and the guy just climbed the tree and cut me a few of them. And I was so thankful for that. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow, baby boy, wow. Look at that. Coconut. It looks like a flower, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is it yummy, Elijah?
It's stars.
No. It's a star.
It's stars.
Alright, open it up.
Open it.
Open it. So we were absolutely excited. On top of that, we would have people that provided massages come to the villa, so we didn't have to travel anywhere. They would come to us and they would provide 1 or 2 hour massages, and we got to pick from a menu what type of massage we wanted, which was amazing. So we would put my son down for a nap in our room, and then my husband and I would get a massage with this type of view. I mean, doesn't that sound amazing? Yeah, it sounded amazing to us too. So, I mean, oh gosh, there's a fishing pond with koi fishes in there. There's a swimming pool with an amazing view. The staff was amazing. They cleaned every day. They checked in with us multiple times a day. They were so friendly. They were so professional. They asked us what we wanted to do every day. So there was a few things that we had Googled as far as like touristy things, like we knew like the places to shop. And I wanted for my birthday, on my actual birthday, I wanted to ride an elephant. We wanted to try local fruits. So we told the guy that was taking care of us, that took us to this villa, the driver, we told him all of these things, and so he just planned them for us. And he provided us different prices and told us, like, which one do you want to do? And he gave us his opinion on each one. So it was great. I mean, all of that was amazing. I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful, right? So let me go ahead and start telling you some of the things that I want to warn you about. And this is my personal experience. And I really would encourage you that if you are planning on coming to Bali, that all of the things that I'm about to mention, that you take the time to look up for yourself. Don't be like me, where you just go in, you see pretty pictures, and then you go visit the place. But also don't brush off what I'm saying. Actually, go and do the research yourself and see how many other people mention these things. So, all right. Anyways, so let's get started. So what can be so bad, right? I mean, it looks beautiful. All right, here we go. For starters, as I mentioned, we went in January. And January, oh, it was so hot. It was so freaking hot. And I'm telling you, you guys, we have been to places that are so, like, all the places in the Caribbean. I'm telling you, we've been to so many of those islands. You name it. We've been to some pretty crazy hot places, and nothing compared to this place. Bali is absolutely blistering, hell on earth kind of hot. And I am darker skinned. I'm Latina. My mom is from Mexico. So I can take heat pretty well. And I'm telling you, like, I have never, even here in Japan, it's absolutely humid hot. But this was next level hot. And it was January. I was like, holy cow, I can't even imagine what kind of heat like this place is pumping out like in the actual summertime, because it was so hot that I was breaking out in heat rashes, and that has never happened to me before ever in my life. And it was raining a lot in January when we went. Like to say hi. Good job. Beautiful baby. And I was kind of thankful because it felt like that cooled it down, but it would just like minutes after it rained. And even when it was raining, it was still hot. It just felt a little slightly less hot. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, this is next level nasty, miserable kind of hot. And air conditioning is really rare here. I'm talking about you're not going to really, like when you're shopping, you're not really going to have stores that provide air conditioning. Even the villa that we stayed at, nothing was air conditioned except for our room. So, and even with the air condition on, I mean, it was kind of pointless because it worked, but it wasn't like really on. And then it nowhere else in the villa it does the air conditioning work. So it was just like we might as well just crank it up as high as we can, and then just, and it was only at nighttime really that we were in the room. So we were like, oh, okay. And some of the stores, it was nice when we were out shopping that we would be able to encounter like one place that had air conditioning, and then we would just stay in there as long as we could, and then just like, okay, you ready? All right, and let's go. Because I'm telling you, the heat is brutal here. Point number two, dangerous. I didn't realize how dangerous Bali was. Like I said, we have been living in Japan and crime is almost non existent. So, yes, that was definitely a culture shock for us in a way because as soon as we pulled up to our villa, the staff there informed us that we needed to keep our son close to us, to not have him sleep in one of the separate rooms, but to stay in our room and make sure all the doors were completely locked and to do a double and even triple check before we go to sleep. And something that I noticed as we stayed there throughout the days, we stayed 10 days. Oh my gosh, that was 10 days, way too many. We noticed that a lot of people, the local people, carry huge machetes because they're cutting coconuts out of the trees and, they're doing different things like that with them. But it is, I mean, it is kind of scary to think about that in a way. And it was very it was really, really freaky to go shopping at the local market. And again, this is away from the touristy areas, so maybe that could have been it too. But we went to a place, our driver took us to a local place to go shopping, and we had my son in the stroller, and we were just looking at different things like clothes and jewelry, whatnot. This is an open market, so open air market, so it was right by the ocean, and so it wasn't like in a mall or anything like that. Anyways, they were completely harassing us like nonstop. Like they wouldn't take no. Like when they offered something to us, we were like, okay, no, thank you. But they were just absolutely insistent, and it was just really scary to have someone, with a huge weapon that kept coming around, going in front of the stroller, stopping us. Like it was a lot, and so that was definitely scary for us. Something else that we didn't realize was how, oh goodness, how much extreme poverty there is in Bali. Like the villa that we were staying at, was like mansion status compared to like when we were driving up the mountain and we were away from the touristy areas. We're talking about like shacks, like these, yeah, it's just, you see kids with no clothes, just dirty. I mean, it was just, wow. I was like, I was just not expecting that. Like the living room, you could see just driving up the mountain, we were able to see people who just like made their houses like just in the mountains, with just, it looked like cardboard and metal on the top for their roof and just something to sit on, and that was it. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Like, but yeah, it was it was really dirty as well. Really, really, really dirty. Oh my gosh. When we were going up the mountain to the villa, the road was pretty windy, and my son got a little sick and threw up on himself. So the driver had pulled over, and we cleaned him up. Luckily, I had a plastic bag in my diaper bag, so I was able to put all of his clothes in there and change him out, and I used baby wipes to clean him, and then I also changed his diaper, and I was going to throw everything all together in my plastic bag, but our driver actually took the dirty diaper and all of the wipes that we used for the throw up, and he just threw it on the street, just on the road right there, and I guess I didn't even realize that when he had done that. I was so shocked. But then I looked around and actually there was trash everywhere. It was everywhere. And to make matters worse is the monkeys are just eating the trash and scattering it even more. So it's all along like the foresty areas. And so like from a distance, it looks absolutely beautiful. But then when you're right there, it's like, oh my gosh. Ew, what is that? That's really dirty. Another example of this too is when we had gone shopping to that local market by the ocean. we went in our swimsuits because we were planning on going swimming in the ocean. And as we were walking by, we were just like picking up seashells. The beach was absolutely filled with trash, plastic, just you name it, like toilet paper, like all of it, just all up in the sands and just like being washed up. I was like, I had never seen anything like that before. And one of the things that was just like, oh my gosh, heck no, we are not even, this is too much, was we saw a needle, a syringe needle in the ocean. And it was like, yeah, there's absolutely no way we're going to go swimming in this. So, yeah, after the shopping, we took some photos um, of like a cool looking building, and that was it. I think we bought one thing, and that was so the person could leave us alone, and then we left. So, yeah, my goodness, that was absolutely crazy. Oh, I have to mention this. I have to mention it. When we were driving down from the mountain one day, we had asked if we can go shopping at like the touristy spot. I think it's Ubud, Ubud, however you pronounce that. We wanted to go to the actual touristy spot away from the like the locals. I know that sounds bad, but maybe we were like we figured okay, it would be safer and not feel like so like pressured and harassed and not so scary, which was correct. We weren't harassed as much. We still were, but it wasn't as much. But anyways, the point of me telling you this is when we were driving down the mountain, oh my gosh, there was this beautiful stream. I mean, it looks all rainforesty when I'm looking out the window. I'm seeing monkeys like in the trees. It looks like a really cool view. And I see below there's like this stream of water. And I kind of giggled because I see a guy taking a crap at the very top. He's using the bathroom at the very top of the stream. Like his crap is going into the water. Okay, whatever. Like I'm just like, okay, whatever at this point. Then we continue down a couple minutes later. I'm seeing a group of guys completely nude bathing in that same stream of water. I was like, oh no, this is too much. This is too. And then a couple minutes further down, there's women, a bunch of women just bathing in that as well. And then towards like the bottom of the river, actually there was kids below the women that were bathing as well. And then at towards the very, very bottom, I'm talking like right when we're entering like the city area of where we're gonna go shopping, there was this guy that was fishing. And my husband loves to fish, so we were like, oh, okay, maybe we'll go fishing here. Wait a minute, this is the same stream. This is the same stream all the way up in the mountain where the guy's taking a crap. And that guy is catching fish, and then he has a little vending, um, oh gosh, what are those called? He was like a vendor selling the fish that he was catching. It's, yeah, and that was something we were warned about from the beginning too, from the people that were taking care of us at the villa. That local guy was telling us, no, like don't buy anything from any of the street vendors. Um, that there was really bad publicity because an American had gone to Bali and had realized that he was sold dog food, not dog food, a dog meat that it's very common for them to kill and eat a dog. And so he was saying, if you like dogs, like, I don't want you to be all upset that you ate dogs. So like, don't eat from the vendors, the street vendors. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I love dogs. I cannot do that. And on top of that, after seeing that guy crapping in the same river that the guy was fishing in, no, there's no way. No way. So we stuck to restaurants and just eating from the chef that was at our villa. So yeah, there was absolutely no way. And the water, we couldn't even drink the water. We had to have water bottles with us the whole time. Even at the villa, they had dug a well up and they told us it was a pretty deep well. But even then, my husband got so sick, and I'll tell you about that later. But here are some things that are not so good, on top of everything that I have told you about already. So drugs are everywhere. If you're light skinned, you're definitely going to be offered drugs. Prostitution is really common here. I guess I didn't realize this, and I had looked it up later, but child trafficking is everywhere due to extreme poverty and the age that most children are sold as prostitutes are from ages 14 to 17 years old. And all of this information I had got from the Indonesian Child Welfare. Yeah, online. It was just really sad because I'd seen the ladies, and they looked really, really young, but I was just like, oh, it's just heartbreaking. Petty crime is definitely something here, like in the touristy areas, especially like bag snatching. They'll try to take advantage of like foreign exchange of like the money that you're doing. That's why we did it at the airport. Thank God. But like giving your bank card as well, they'll try to copy like the numbers on it. So we didn't use our card, I don't think, not once. We did everything in cash. Definitely excessive drinking and driving. There's like no traffic laws here. Absolutely do not, and I repeat myself, do not drive if you're coming here. You're going to need a driver because the driving here is absolutely insane. You'll see people drinking and driving, and you'll also see women that have like babies like on them, like as a carrier on their mopeds, and they're going so fast. And people are weaving in and out of traffic, just absolutely. It's gonna make you sick because it's so, it's wild. It's wild. But one of the things that I wasn't really a fan of at all was we had found some beautiful parks. Like you could see just like great views, or like the places that, like, if you Google online, like beautiful places to see in Bali, some of those like top areas, we wanted to go check those out. And they were like open park areas, and then some of the places even had like a teeny tiny like playground. So I thought, okay, great, like we could take my son to burn some energy there and run around. But it's weird, and this is a culture thing, but the men, I didn't see any women doing this, but the men were always smoking by the children's playgrounds. Like, I don't understand that at all, and it bugged the crap out of me. And I just, oh my gosh, yeah. So just be aware for that as well. Be aware for, you're going to see a lot of children begging for money as well. So those are some of the cultural things, and just Bali things that you're going to encounter. One thing I do want to touch up on as well, that was a huge shock for us that I really want you to consider before coming out here, is the religious aspect of just, yeah, let me just get into that right now. My husband and I are Christian, and we have been around a bunch of different religions. I mean, in Japan, primarily Shintoism is there, okay? And, there hasn't been anything quite like this experience where we went to Bali. And I believe the majority of people in Bali are Hindu. But the thing that had stood out to us was there are these offerings literally everywhere. Like every shop will have them, every villa will have them, everywhere. They're just everywhere. And we're trying not to step on them, and we're like, oh, what is this? It has like incense on it. It has usually like flowers on it. I'll have to insert a picture here so you know what I'm talking about. And they're just everywhere. You'll see them up on statues, and the majority of them are on the floor. And we asked our driver, what is this? Like, what are these things? And they were saying that they offer gods and demons these different offerings so that the gods are pleased, and also that the demons are pleased as well, so that the demons will leave them alone. And that, okay, so in our faith in Christianity, we don't partake in stuff like that. And when you're around stuff like that, it's just not good. That's like opening doors and inviting bad things into your life and like bad things around you. We don't believe in multiple gods, and we don't believe in offering stuff to demons. Like demons in Christianity is a bad thing. Like demons are the things that cause bad things in people's lives. So, oh, that was not, we didn't like that. I mean, it's equivalent to being around a group of people that are playing the Ouija board and you're just watching them and you are just having, yeah, whatever. Like it's not normal. Like in Christianity, we don't want to be around that. And here in Japan, it's very easy to just like go around. Like there's a lot of temples and stuff here, but it's not like absolutely polluted where you're going to see offerings absolutely everywhere on every single door. Like we were accidentally like running over some of them like with the stroller, and we were like trying to like dodge like where we were stepping. Like it was like that. They're everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, because the first one that we had ran over, I was like, oh my gosh. And our driver was like, it's fine, it's fine, it's okay. But I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So yes, that was something that was very culturally, yes, I don't even have the words for it, but yes, just be aware of that. The heaviness of the spiritual heaviness here in Bali is just absolutely something that I had never experienced ever before in my life. My last and final point is just our personal experience of what had happened. When, as soon as we got to the villa, we just had this eerie feeling. Like imagine just being in the most beautiful place you've ever been to, but it's like super crazy, like hot as hell kind of feeling. And then you have this eerie, awful feeling on top of that. Like, how are you supposed to relax when you don't feel safe? And you also feel like this creepy vibe, you know? And now my son, he's never had any problems with bad dreams or anything like that. Not once, not ever at all. And as soon as we got to the villa, the first night that we spent the night there, he was in his crib right next to us because we brought our pack and play. And my husband and I, we woke up to him screaming. He was saying, "Mommy, help me, help me." And I was just absolutely terrified, and my husband was too. And we just shot up and we grabbed him, and we were like, "What's wrong? What's okay? Are you okay? What's going on?" And he's saying, the shadows, like the dark shadows." And we were like, "What the hell?" So we prayed over the whole room, anointed the whole room and the villa. It was just absolutely awful. And like I mentioned before earlier, my husband got super sick. We didn't drink any of the water, but I mean, it could have been the pool water. It could have been, I don't know. Our guess is that the chef was cooking and cleaning the dishes, right? And so I think, or cooking and cleaning the dishes, I think maybe she didn't let a plate fully dry and then fed us on a wet plate. Or better yet, she fed my husband on a plate that hadn't dried completely. My husband got so sick, I was so scared. He was puking and he had diarrhea, just like explosive, just crazy, absolutely so scary. Like I thought he was going to die kind of thing. Like it was absolutely terrifying. Him and I were just like at each other's throats. We were getting on each other's nerves, and it just irritable, and we weren't sleeping well, and we were just, that eerie vibe never went away. It was just not a good time at all. And so after my husband got sick, we went to the Hilton. We told the people, okay, we're done with this place, you know, respectfully. Thank you for everything that you did, and we tipped them well. And then we got a ride to the Hilton Hotel, and we stayed there, and it was just like the same thing. Like that wasn't like that eerie vibe, but it was all open air. So like it was very open. So it wasn't refrigerated air or anything like that. Our room was refrigerated, but that was it. So it was still super, super hot. But we were just thankful that we were able to, I guess, experience something new, because there wasn't like a really trashy beach there. And there was a nice pool, and the Hilton Hotel was a nice place. So I definitely recommend that over a villa 100%. And it felt a lot safer there for sure. Although I did, until this day, I cannot get this lady's image out of my mind. It's just like burned into my skull. There was this guy in the elevator. Um, we had arrived on our floor and the elevator doors opened, and we were going out the elevator as she was coming in with this old guy. And absolutely, I told my husband I had such a bad feeling, and just the way that she was like holding herself, I just felt like she was trafficked. Like that was a girl that was there not on her own will, you know? But we had so much going on. My son at this point had gotten sick. I was actually throwing up. My husband was really irritated because we had just missed our flight as well. And then because of COVID, they were trying to route us through China. And because he's military, like he wasn't allowed to do that. And so there was just a lot going on. And I'm just like, till this day, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have ran back to the elevator and like asked if she was okay, you know? I don't know. Jesus, just please protect her wherever she is. Anyways, to make a long story shorter, we had to fly to Singapore and we had a lot of problems getting back into Japan. And it was a really long, long vacation. I wouldn't even call it a vacation. It was just absolutely awful. Like all of it. I mean, I'm trying to remember like the good things, and I guess the good thing is we got to experience another culture, and we did get to go to church on Sunday at Hillsong. And honestly, the only reason I would ever go back to Bali with no kids would be to do ministry for Hillsong Church or one of the other local churches nearby, because they did a wonderful job, and I know they have a lot of work cut out for them there. So, anyways, if you're planning on going to Bali, maybe don't bring your kids, and definitely don't go for 10 days. That's way too long. And stay at one of the more like at the commercial hotels like a Hilton or something like that so that you're safe. And yeah, just do your research so you don't end up like us where we had an awful time and it was, yeah, not good. Anyways, I hope you learned at least one thing from here, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.